Ohtani's ready. Trout's ready. 3-2. He struck him out! Ohtani strikes out Trout, and Japan's back on top of the baseball world.
Shohei Ohtani, the greatest team sport athlete in the world, and now we know he's clutch in what feels like the biggest non-World Series baseball game of all time, and probably bigger than the majority of World Series games because they're series. Japan wins their third World Baseball Classic. They defeat the United States in what feels like by far the best World Baseball Classic of all time. This is interesting to see, where we discuss narratives on sports and also some gambling and also just what's trending on the internet. News, narratives, takes. And what takes you have to be part of the take machine. That's what I'm here for, folks, to help you have takes on the internet. Today is Controversial Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I just dive into some things that are not quite like the news or takes on sports. It's just kind of what's going on. Sometimes Controversial Wednesday is a huge hit, and I have a lot of scandals, and sometimes it's not. Today is kind of in the middle. Shohei Ohtani, unbelievable. And he plays the two of the best baseball players in the world right there. It was a great game. Four of the 5 runs were home runs, solo home runs. Just bombs. I forget the guy's name every time, but Japanese Babe Ruth hit a bomb. Kyle Schwarber hit a bomb, and a lot of people made World War II jokes on the internet, and I can tell you that we are kind of getting to the point where those are funny, but it's a little touchy. Nuclear weapons, we're kind of living still in fear of nukes. So I don't know if they're funny right now, but they were on the internet last night as well, and Japan, they were able to squeeze out, I think, like a sacrifice at some point, which gave them the edge. Shohei Ohtani strikes out Mike Trout. They are on the same team and are probably 2 of the top 5 players in the world, like I said, maybe 2 of the top 2 players in the world. They're on the same team, right? So their team must be good. Nope. Garbage. Neither of those guys has ever played a playoff game. It's good to know that Shohei Ohtani is clutch, though, because he was just the best baseball player in the world, but now he knows, when you are facing a guy you've never faced before, who's a teammate, and is also the best player in the world, other than you strike him out with your country on your back. That is as clutch as it gets.
And not only that, there's a stat about that Mike Trout strikeout, which is interesting because it's preseason baseball. It's kind of preseason baseball.
Spring training is going on. This is way better than spring training. There have been some injuries, whatever, fuck off. It's baseball. If they miss 20 games, I don't care. This is way cooler than some random game in fucking June. It's so much cooler, in my opinion. So codify baseball. I've never heard of this group. They have a blue check. I don't know if they've earned it. I don't know if it's like a genuine blue check. I don't know. If you aren't impressed, you should be. Mike Trout has had 3 swinging strikes in only 24 of his 6,100 MLB plate appearances. Shohei Ohtani's strikeout of him included. I don't know why. I mute the Twitter video and then I press play and it unmutes it for me. Bro. You can watch this on YouTube if you want to watch. You can also watch it on Spotify if you listen on Spotify. If you're one of those, Shohei Ohtani's strikeout of Mike Trout, which by the way came in a full count, included all 3 strikes were swinging strikes, and 2 of them were over 100 according to what I'm watching right now, and the third one was 90, or it was a slider away, I believe. Just an 3 swinging strikes. He's never swung and missed 3 times in a plate appearances, 24 times out of 6,100, which I'm trying to do math. That is 0.03% of the time, I believe. 0.03, I think. I don't know. I'm not a math guy. Okay, Controversial Wednesday. Have some stuff. Here's Ohtani's pregame speech. It's in Japanese, so I'm not going to play it. But his thesis was, let's stop admiring them. If you admire them, you can't surpass them. We came here to surpass them, to reach the top. For one day, let's throw out our admiration of them and just think about winning, which is a very respectful way to think of your opponent as your opponent and not your enemy. People underestimate how big this guy is. Ohtani, he really is amazing. Okay, so we'll start with ratings, XFL ratings. This is news. Someone had to report this. The XFL ratings took a nosedive. They were doing pretty well. There's a lot of hype in St. Louis, but they took a nosedive last weekend. Was there anything going on last weekend that people may have been watching? Yes. So not shocking. Not shocking that they took a nosedive. Let's go to LIV Golf ratings. LIV Golf is getting roasted by people on the internet for sucking. This Kevin Van Valkenburg, who the hell is this guy? Editorial director of No Laying Up, Western Montana guy with 20 years of Maryland. People think that Maryland is a personality type. It's really not. Still not sick. Yeah, Maryland is just D.C., like Baltimore, which is just D.C.-ish, and then the rest of it's just kind of like Delaware, South Jersey. No disrespect to Maryland. Delaware's not really a state either. Love you guys. So this is a guy that covers golf, I guess, and he's just coming after LIV. LIV Golf wanted me to add some context to this tweet. What tweet is he talking about? This one. Have an updated LIV Golf ratings for the Tucson event. According to a source, it scored a 0.14 overnight rating in 33 markets from Saturday. So that is down from 0.2. A 3 or a 4 rating is enormous. And remember, this is on the CW, so literally like reruns of shows are beating this, which makes sense because people that watch the CW, like it's not in golf, right? LIV Golf reached out to this dude and wanted him to add some context. A statement from LIV Golf Chief Media Officer Will Strager. We had a great event in Tucson with quality competition and capacity crowds every day. That is a loose term, capacity crowds. Like you could have a capacity elevator. It doesn't mean 40,000, it means 5. While we await complete rating results, including streaming, we're pleased to see growth in TV viewership in major markets across the country and significant increases in downloads of the CW and LIV Golf Plus apps. Not sick. LIV Golf has played 6 rounds of golf so far. Like any brand new sports league, building an audience is a long-term process. Remember, they're dumping hundreds of millions into this. Well, does it stop there, Nick? No. It certainly doesn't. Now they're tightening their belts. Get this. Oh, God. You're in this with me. I don't care. We are finding out from LIV Golf now that they are asking broadcast crews. LIV Golf has stripped broadcast crews of healthcare and other benefits, according to a statement from the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, IATSE? Whatever, a labor union representing workers in the entertainment and TV production industries. Does that sound good to you? There's a Barstool blog breaking all this down. See, the thing about Barstool is that they're annoying and kind of misogynistic and stupid, but also they do really good reporting on the internet. You got to wade through their dipshittery to find the reporting on the internet. They're great at reporting on the internet. They really are. So this Kevin guy is just going all in. I'm surprised this is such a controversial point, Lee. Wouldn't it benefit LIV now if its most talented, accomplished golfers were winning? This is after him saying Bryson has kind of sucked. Is that a problem for you? Yeah, I would imagine it is. The real question is when this folds, and it's going to fold, will the PGA allow these guys back in? And they're going to, but this has demonstrated pretty clearly that there's competition in the wings for the PGA, and we'll see what happens. If LIV can survive 4 or 5 years, then the PGA really will have to change things. If they only survive 1, 2, or 3, PGA might not have to change things. I don't know. It's a bad situation for them. Okay, let's go to the world of sports gambling. This is Taylor Mathis. You're looking at your screen. Taylor Mathis is a woman in her prime, which means when I say someone in their prime, I mean like post-college, pre-mortgage, like 24 to 32. I have no idea how old she is. It doesn't really matter. There's a picture of her that she posted in a baseball cap. Cool. What happened with Taylor is interesting, and I think is going to be part of a debate that the country will have, 5 or 6 years too late after thousands of people have ruined their lives and the lives of their children and families with sports gambling. So Taylor Mathis was fired, and this is, she did an interview with Jeff Edelstein. I actually don't know how you pronounce his name. He's on Twitter when you talk about gambling. So she did an interview because she was fired. Her job at the time was to analyze betting for, I actually don't know, someone, Superbook. So all of these sports books have people like Taylor, and it's really creepy. But the people that the sportsbook hires are attractive women in their prime to make these bets. It is
hard for people to tell that these women do, in fact, know what they're talking about. They do. Most of them do. I think the best example of this is Barstool hired someone named, I think her Twitter account is Kelly in Vegas.
I don't know where she came from. They also have a woman named Megan Making Money. She worked for, I think, FanDuel for a long time. There are a lot of these women that are in this age range, and they're hot. And the purpose of them is to like get you to watch the content. All of these sports books have been investing in this content to put on the internet to get you to gamble. Now, I believe very firmly that these talent people, women, men, otherwise, all the way up to the rich ones like Dave Portnoy, Barstool, and even people at like mainstream media like Colin Cowherd, should have to disclose what they actually bet on. Because if you just say, I'm betting on this, and you don't bet on it, then people are following you. It becomes like a fiduciary financial advice kind of situation. I think that kind of regulation needs to happen. That's just my opinion. Like this woman, Taylor, should have to prove to us that she bet on the things that she said she bet on with her money. But that's not what this is about. This is about Taylor getting fired because she was a host and analyst at Superbook, which means she's one of these women that hosts gambling shows. They have other gambling experts on, maybe former coaches or players, to break down the game, but from a gambling standpoint. So, yeah, and there she is. She's been on Twitter. She's got like 50K. She is one step down behind the big dogs like the Barstool women and other people. Why was she fired? Well, she was fired because she went into a classroom, I believe. Her sister, so this is the story. She was in town in Iowa, or wherever she's from. I think she lives in somewhere that does sports stuff. My guess is Chicago, Philly, New York, Vegas, LA, Miami, one of those places. So she's back home for her sister's baby shower, and she goes to teach to her sister's classroom to kind of explain to children, I don't know how old they were, we'll just say like grade school, I think, about the bracket. I remember when I learned about what the bracket was for March Madness, it was like, I think it was 12 when I fully kind of grasped it and entered pools, and I didn't really get it till high school. Superbook fired her. So Mathis explains very clearly, it was Illinois, not Iowa, whatever, Midwest. Mathis explains that she was not discussing gambling. She was discussing what the seeding means, the numbers next to the bracket. What's interesting to me is, how did they find out about this? Well, I think she posted about it. And now the entire sports gambling world kind of defending her. She got fired. Superbook fired her for going into a classroom explaining what the bracket was. I'll be honest with you. I'm with Superbook. First of all, you got to cover your ass. This bet responsibly. If you give out advice and kind of encourage people to bet big and then don't at least fake like you care about them by saying bet responsibly, that's actually illegal. You can't encourage binge drinking on TV either. There is some regulation that exists now. I think there will be more eventually. So this guy's like, so talking probability for the NCAA tournament bracket in math class. Yes. That's essentially what she got fired for. But she is not someone that you would want impressionable children watching. Her shows, and I think we're headed to a place like this, you don't want kids to get involved in this. This is how parents find out that their kid spent $10,000 on the App Store upgrading on freemium gaming, like Candy Crush and shit. But it's betting. Gambling addiction is one of the first true addictions that was ever discovered and figured out in behavioral economics, the way your brain works. It is crazy. There are people with diseases, and the diseases infect your brain in a way that make gambling like a crazy addictive situation. In regards to a tweet about me teaching kids how to do a bracket, I taught them about filling out a bracket. There wasn't any gambling involved, just trying to do something with kids, sports, and math. It's being viewed as grooming. I'm sorry if doing that was wrong. It wasn't my intent. It was wrong, I think. I think the real wrong thing, the real lack of judgment was on her sister. Her sister doesn't need Taylor to come in and tell them. I think it's like a way to like make her sister feel good, or like have someone else come in and do the kids. I don't know. I don't know what it was. Teachers have people come in all the time. And talking about probability, March Madness has nothing to do with probability. I mean, there is probability in sports, but the probability of a 16 seed beating a 1 seed based on historic data is not like a math lesson. It's happened once. So what's the probability that it'll happen to the future? We have no fucking idea, because the seeds are made up. This isn't math. It is gambling. The seeds are made up by a group of, 10 to 20 people in a fucking room that are lying. And like, this team should have been at this seed. I think they should be. There's no data here. They won 27 games, and this team won 26. So this is a 5, and this is an 11. That's not probability. It's not math. So she's been fired. Everyone's kind of got her back. Someone else hired her. She has 50,000 followers on Twitter, which that's what matters. You want people to be addicted to gambling. These upstarts, Barstool Sports, FanDuel, FanDuel, DraftKings, all these, they make their money on gambling addicts. So Taylor got fired. She wrote a blog about it. Due to recent events, Superbook Sports find it necessary to reaffirm our steadfast commitment to responsible gambling and protecting youth. I'm on board. She's not someone that they should be following, and like young children should not know who Taylor Mathis is. They just shouldn't. And we are for sure headed towards an epidemic in this country. I'm telling you, gambling is bad. Gambling addiction is bad. Psychiatrists will tell you it's maybe the worst one because it will bring down the ship. And rock bottom often costs many people a chance at a healthy, productive life, which is not the case for a lot of substances. Which is not to say that substances don't impact people around you, but you spend your kids' life savings, all of a sudden their next 40 years are different than they would have been. And it's not just one person that does that. Okay, so yeah, that's this thing that's happening. And I'm telling you, this is coming. It's going to be overdue. Eventually, people are going to be like, it's only going to take a couple of people freaking out, and then the government's going to want their cut, and then they're going to want regulation. It's going to happen. The other interesting thing is these sports books aren't making as much money as they appear. A lot of them are publicly traded, and their stock prices have been a joke. So they're making revenue, but they're not making profit, which is kind of stupid. It's really weird how it's kind of happened. All right, we'll finish up with this. The National Hockey League has announced it agreed to a 10-year deal for new uniforms with Fanatics. And everyone's like, what the shit? No, I don't want Fanatics. Everyone's like, this is going to be bad. Fanatics had a pitch that included foldable
Sweater logos for easier traveling. What? This is professional athletics. Make new ones, bro. It's a 10-year deal. Everybody hates it. The NHL is always 10 years behind. I don't
know if they couldn't get Nike to do it. I don't know if Nike didn't want to do it. Fanatics is just trying their best. Fanatics, everything Fanatics does is B+. Like, none of it. I never see Fanatics here. I'm like, yo, that's sick. I always see it, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, I don't have anything, and this is what came up in my search. They're really good at search engine. Search engine optimization. Their SEO is elite. So people in the NHL are freaking out about it. And I'll be honest with you, the players got to wear jerseys. I don't really give a shit. That's, whatever. But I think it is going to be boring. I mean, not the NHL. Just find what the hot kids are wearing. It would have been better to partner with Carhartt. Cuba's bullpen catcher for the World Baseball Classic, after Cuba was eliminated, he said, peace out, yo. I'm gone. He defected. Shouts to you, bro. Hope it's going well. I feel like with relations with Cuba improving, I guess. I doubt this will last, but who the hell knows? Back and better than ever. I think college basketball is back on Thursday. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. All right, see you then.